Hello Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to Toku Topics. Today I'm taking a look at the first entry in the brand new Power Rangers Lightning Collection Deluxe Wave assortment. So this was something announced back at Hasbro PulseCon. I told you guys this new subline was coming back in September, about a month before they revealed it, and this is the first entry that's been released here in the US. So basically, the Deluxe Waves are going to be waves of two different releases, priced at the deluxe price point of $33.99, which is the new price point for that. And basically, they can be big monsters, they can be rangers with vehicles, as we obviously have here. They kind of hinted that they could be battleizers someday. But this is what we got to kick this line off, and it's a thing. It's definitely not my favorite choice here. And I'm not going to try to be super negative in this video or anything like that, but this is one of my least favorite Lightning Collection releases that they've ever made. This is the kind of epitome of completion buying. I didn't want this, to be honest with you. And like, yeah, you get the glider, which we're going to obviously talk about, but it's messed up. You know the problem with the glider, probably. If not, I'm definitely going to go into it. But like, not the greatest choice for this, especially because we literally just got this figure in Versus Packs Wave 2 back in October. So I've only had this figure for like, well, I guess that was like, 6 months ago? So I guess I've had this for like half a year, and I just got this one today. But like, I was perfectly content with this. I didn't need another one. The only problem I have with this one is that I did think that his neck joint was very tight when I put the TJ head on. So maybe if this one's better, that could be a plus. But basically, yeah, it's this. So his wave mate is the Mighty Morphin Pirantis head figure that was originally supposed to be part of Monsters Wave 2, and they got pushed to this. So this entire first wave is kind of just like a repackage, repurpose. I think this deluxe line's really going to find its footing whenever they announce Wave 2 and Wave 3, because Wave 2 is going to have Wild Force Red with some vehicle and another Mighty Morphin monster, and then Wave 3 is going to have Time Force Green and another Mighty Morphin monster. But yeah, here we go. So before I dive into this here, this is like the first video I've done in like the week time frame that I've had the nail polish on, so it's definitely chipping a little bit, and my nails are a little bit long because of it too, because they've been hiding under the nail polish. So if that distracts you, I apologize, but I'm just kind of letting this chip off. So I probably could have cleaned that up a little bit better, but you know, we'll focus on this side of my hands and the figure, so I hope that doesn't bother you. I don't even know why I brought it up, to be honest. I probably just brought attention to it and nobody was even looking at it. But basically, so this is a nice box, I will say that. It does have more traditional Tom Whalen artwork on it. It's not a 2-pack style artwork. It's just a regular single release style artwork, which might be pointless at this point. It's possible that Tom Whalen is not doing illustrations anymore for the artwork on the boxes, so I don't know. But basically, In Space Blue Ranger and Galaxy Glider, and then in Galaxy Glider in a bunch of different languages. Obviously, you see TJ in there. You get absolutely nothing different about the figure from the 2-pack release. I think that might be, or it could just be me going crazy, but I think that might be a new shade of the effect piece there. I think it looks more like a lime green than like the yellow. We've had the yellow on that effect piece like 50 times, so it might be a new shade, or I could, like I said, just be going crazy. But obviously, you get the Galaxy Glider, which is like the actual new thing about this, and of course the box. Now, the Galaxy Gliders are cool, and I'm happy to get more vehicles in the Lightning Collection. This is only our second one after the Uniforce cycle that SPD Omega came with back in 2020. But it's just weird to get TJ with the Galaxy Glider. Like, I would have given it to Andros, and it's one of those things where it's like, are they going to resell us the entire space team with Galaxy Gliders now? I don't know, but it's just a thing. So on the side, you just get typical Lightning Collection artwork, as it's just kind of cut out of the frame there. And on the other side, you know, it's a standalone box style, basically. It's a little thicker. And on the back, you get our typical 3D render. And if you're wondering if the Galaxy Glider is raw on there, it definitely is. So it's raw on the render, it's raw on the thing, and that is where we're at. So if you didn't want the 2-pack, this is probably a good purchase for you. If you just wanted to complete your in-space team and have everybody with side profiles, you will be able to get pretty close to that. You still won't be able to have one for In-Space Red because he came in a 2-pack as well. But yeah, if you just really didn't want Psycho Silver, you could just get this. Now, one thing that is kind of neat about having a second In-Space Blue is that you could pose it with this one if you have this one as well, and you could kind of just have at least 2 Blue Rangers from 5 of a Kind, so you could like maybe recreate like a little battle scene from 5 of a Kind, and which is already what that 2-pack was referencing to his appearance in anyway. So, you know, because basically when they all became In Space Blue, there would have been multiple male in Space Blues on the team there. So you could kind of have fun with it there. But for the most part, it's just Hasbro reusing a figure because it's cheaper to do that. And we're going to compare it to the original one. So I've already rambled enough about this. Let's go ahead and open it up and take a look at this release. Alright, so here's TJ out of the box and everything that you get with him. And I mean, you get a good amount of stuff. I mean, if you, like I said earlier so many times, if you didn't want the 2-pack and you just really wanted a TJ, definitely the way to go. Obviously, the price that you're paying, the deluxe price, is for this thing, which we will take a look at in a minute. But first of all, let's just take a look at the TJ figure. But if you have that original Versus Packs Wave 2 release, you know exactly what you're getting with this. So mine looks pretty good. Obviously, the in-space helmets are notorious for the visors not really lining up very well. But mine looks pretty good. It's maybe just a slight bit off-centered on that bottom row there. But it's not too bad. Mine has like this weird little white speck right there underneath the pink square. I don't know if you can see that there in the blue plastic. It's like a little piece of white paint or something. But yeah, basically he comes with the karate chop hand on and a fist. He comes with 2 holding hands, one for his right hand, one for his left, which is covered in a little piece of string. So let me get that off there. It fell onto the carpet, so that's why that happened. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's the exact same thing that you already have. It's obviously the same male body that they use on In-Space Red, Black, Silver. You know, that figure that Hasbro never has claimed existed. But here we are comparing it to the original release. And in person, 100% there's a shading difference on this. The one on the 2-pack is darker blue than the one in the Deluxe Wave. I also think that maybe the visor paint is applied a little bit cleaner on my new one compared to my old one. You can see like that weird little line in the bottom of it. So they're both not perfect, but this one might be painted a little bit better. Just a little bit overall. This one's a darker blue in my opinion. But that could just be like the way that they were put together, or maybe this one got more exposure to light or something in the last couple of months, so that I maybe would have made it lighter, I don't know. But yeah, in person I can definitely see a little bit of a difference in the shading of blue. Yeah, I'm trying to see which one matches the glider a little bit better. But yeah, they're still both pretty good. This one, you can see like a little bit of that paint wear on the inside of the butterfly joint there. And I don't think it's as bad on this one. It looks like it's printed a little bit nicer. So technically, I think this one is slightly better than my original. So I guess I kind of lucked out in that department. But I mean, essentially, they are the same figure. And yours, you know, could look worse than mine. It could look better than mine. You know how the QC is on this line. It doesn't exist. So next up, we have the TJ head, which comparing that to the original TJ head, they are the same thing. They are definitely the same thing. I thought it was a pretty solid head the first time. I think it's a good one this second time. Let's see if it's a little harder or easier to put it on this one. Like I said, my 2-pack one was a little tougher. I felt like I was going to rip the neck joint. This one definitely feels a little tight. It's a little squeaky. But I definitely feel like I can actually move his head joint on this one compared to my original Versus Pack one. So I'm definitely more happy with that one. Yeah, definitely more happy with the neck joint on this one. But that's definitely just compared. You know, that's definitely just mine. Yours could have a worse neck joint or a better one. So I'm good with that. So he also has, of course, the Astro Blaster. Same as the other ones we've had like 5 other times at this point. And he does have the Astro Axe, which I can compare it to the original release as well, which I'm trying to see if they chipped any paint off when he was holding it. Maybe a little bit. But this is the original one. This is the new one. Virtually identical. I think this one maybe has like on the tip there on the top. I think this one has a little bit more of a metallic silvery paint than this one. I think it's just like that gray plastic. So that's definitely interesting. But yeah. So original one, new one. So not bad. He gets this effect piece we've had 50 times. So there's this one. Like I said earlier, I think it might be a slightly different shade. I mean, we've definitely had it in yellow so many times before, but I can't remember if we've had it in kind of this. It's not green, but I feel like it's a slightly different shade of yellow. Or I could just be going crazy. A lot of people don't even like these. So I like this effect piece, though. I've always liked that one. I've always liked the effect pieces in general. I've always thought they've been a pretty fun component of the Lightning Collection. But now that we have all the stuff we've already had numerous times before, here's something we haven't had before. And that is the Galaxy Glider. So let me move TJ back a little bit so we can actually take a look at the glider. So sculpt-wise, it's great. I really like the way that this is sculpted. I like the idea of us getting Galaxy Gliders, but it's one of those things where I personally think that the Lightning Collection should do vehicles. I'm happy that we got the Universe Cycle. I'm happy we have a Galaxy Glider. I'm just less inclined to want the ones that whole teams have, because that means Hasbro is probably going to want to try to sell everybody either with the vehicles, or they'll sell everybody like they're doing here already and then sell us again with the vehicles, or like somebody will be missing a vehicle because like right now TJ's alone. So it's one of those things where like I think that if Hasbro leaned more towards individual vehicles like Rangers that only have one unique cycle, so like SP to Omega, perfect, he has that cycle, it's only his, which is why I'm really hoping that Cole in Wave 2 Wild Force Red, really hope he has the Wild Force Rider and not the Savage cycle, because everybody had a Savage cycle, but he was the only person who had the Wild Force Rider. So I hope that that's the vehicle he's getting, but I don't know which vehicle he's getting. But hey, at the time of this recording, which is probably not going to age well, or maybe it will, we might get Wave 2 of Deluxes revealed on the Fan First Tuesday here on April 12th. I have no idea if that's actually going to happen or not, but we could actually know the identity of the vehicle in the next wave here pretty soon. But yeah, we got the Galaxy Glider. We don't know if we're going to get the other 5, but we have one of them. I mean, now that we have the mold for this, they definitely could. However, they do need to fix the mold because that's where there's a problem. But first of all, before we get to the problem, you get 2 nice peg holes there on the glider, so you can peg his feet in there. And I do like that nice textured pattern that you get on there. I think that's pretty nice. Silver paint's applied nice on the back of, like, I guess that's the engine and these little, like, rail pieces. The engine itself is sculpted very nicely. I like the little translucent plastic up there for, like, what would be, I don't know, I guess, like, headlights, I guess, if you're going to need that flying through space. And the nice silver there. But there it is. That is the problem. So obviously, if you're familiar with the InSpace / Mega Ranger logo, it's all over their suits. It looks like that. It looks like an M from Mega Ranger, which John Warden called a weird envelope symbol. And his so-called weird envelope symbol is supposed to be right there, but it's an X for some reason. So that's what it's supposed to look like. That's what it looks like here. And Hasbro said that they were able to catch that. They didn't fix it though. I've yet to, unlike with Lunar Wolf, where we have 4 different variants of him floating around in the wild with different paint applications, I have yet to ever see anybody find a Galaxy Glider that does not have the X sculpted on it. And this has been released in the UK, in Canada, in the US, in Australia, and I've still never seen one that's corrected. So I don't think we're going to luck out on this one. So it's just one of those really dumb, stupid things where it's like, why did that happen? Why did they sculpt a giant X there? I don't know. It definitely does kind of ruin this thing for me. The only thing that you might even want from this. So that is that. But on the bottom, it's not that exciting. It's just where there's a bunch of screw holes and a bunch of Hasbro copyright information there. But you do get this right there, and that is a peg hole in the middle of it. It kind of almost looks like another screw hole, but right there is a nice peg hole. So what's really cool about this is that it's obviously a glider. He's supposed to fly around on it and not just like have it there on the ground like a surfboard. You could do that. But what's really cool is they said this during PostCon. So while they did not specifically advertise a specific stand that this can work on, they did advertise the fact that they had the peg hole down there that they sculpted for a specific reason. And that is that they sculpted it to be compatible with a lot of action figure stands that would have a peg. So you have to provide a stand of your own, which thankfully I have provided a stand of my own. So this is one of those Tamashii stands, which I've used before, just the typical, I think they're like the Humanoid Action Volume 3 or something. They're the ones that come in like the 3-packs. And they have one of those, you know, movable arms. They have a little like hook on the side or like clips in there. But it has the peg hole. And I've already tested this before I recorded the video. And that peg hole, which that failed, that peg hole does fit in to the bottom there. So I have yet to actually test this with TJ on it and trying to balance it on a stand. So I'm very curious how that's going to go. But in theory, this should, if I actually kind of pose it correctly there, this in theory should allow TJ to glide around on the Galaxy Glider. So that's what we're going to test out now. So let me just move the camera angle a little bit and see how well this is going to work or not work. All right, I hope I have raised the camera enough here to see if this is going to work. So I have him in just kind of a generic pose. I kind of gave him his weapon, changed out his hand there, you know, put the blaster in his buckle. And so basically you have the peg holes there. They're on any Lightning Collection figure, so you should be able to attach pretty much anybody on this glider. So he's definitely pegged in there pretty nicely. I don't think he's really going to fall out. Just kind of have to push it in there. Want to be careful. And yeah, he seems sturdy enough in there. I'm content with that. So we'll have him pose like that. Kind of in a, I don't really know. I'm not good at posing figures. I'm definitely not good at posing figures that are supposed to be flying. So, all right, here's the moment of truth. We'll peg this in there. Are you going to hold your weight, TJ? I don't know if you're going to do it. Let me see. Angle this down a little bit. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay. All right. I knew this was going to be so much weight for this Tamashii stand. Oh, God. Okay. Let me move the camera back and continue to angle it up. All right. Well, he's on it. So, okay. Not too bad. Not too terrible. We shake the table a little bit. Well, he's on it. Move the stand a little bit. I really want to put this on my Lightning Collection display like this, but I'm so terrified of when he inevitably collapses under his own weight and takes out an entire shelf of figures with him, because that's definitely going to happen. Let me just give him some wind, see if that's going to knock him over. Oh, it wants to fall. It's sturdy, it's definitely staying in there. If I just kind of have it straight up like this, it might work, but it definitely does make me a little bit afraid. But hey, it does look sweet though. So I do absolutely like how it looks. So that definitely has made me warm up on this release a little bit, a pretty good considerable amount, to be honest. If you have Tamashii stands, I will try to find, sometimes they're out of stock, sometimes they're in stock. I'll try to find a link to them, and if I can, I'll put them in the description below, these exact stands that I'm using. There could be ones better than this, for sure. These are just the only stands that I have that have a peg that's compatible with the bottom of the glider. So that's all I can possibly use to show off here. The Hasbro Pulse stands that I usually like to use for the action figures, the big stand staff thing that it comes with doesn't have that little peg, which I don't even know what the dimensions or the name of that peg is, but it doesn't have that peg to plug into the bottom of the glider. But this does. So this does work. I just am not 100% sure. I might want to grab another arm or something, another one of these arms, and peg it in there, maybe give it some extra support in the back or something. Maybe hook it onto one of these. That's actually not a terrible idea. I don't know if that's going to be able to angle it around, but that might definitely make me feel a little bit better if I can kind of finagle a way to get a second arm in there, because you can plug 3 arms into one of these stages. But yeah, I think overall it does work. But that's basically going to do it for my review of the Deluxe Wave 1 from the Lightning Collection in Space Blue with the Galaxy Glider. So overall, I can definitely recommend this, but I can't 100% recommend it. If you have the 2-pack and you don't care about the glider, you can definitely skip this. You're not missing out on any accessories, which, is the glider an accessory? It's kind of a big selling point of this. It's not a figure, obviously, but it's kind of the main point of this. But if you didn't want the 2-pack, if you're trying to build 5 of a kind, yeah, go ahead and get this. Maybe especially if you want to build multiples of him for 5 of a kind, and then maybe you have multiple gliders, you can maybe repaint them into the other colors or something. I could definitely see that working out for some people. But it's hard to say. Are we going to get more Galaxy gliders now that Hasbro has the mold? It would look pretty sweet if we could have all 6 of the Space Rangers flying around in gliders like this on stands. I would most certainly pose my Space Rangers doing that if I was able to do so. But TJ will be the lone guy out here, and also the only person on my Lightning Collection display riding the vehicle. But yeah, the more I look at this, the more I do like it. But like I said, it's just kind of a weird release so soon after the 2-pack. If this was Deluxe Wave 2 or Deluxe Wave 3's Ranger pick, I wouldn't feel as bad about it, but it just feels like they were double dipping so soon. Because of all the shipping delays, they announced this figure before most people even had the 2-pack that the original release came out in. Not so much the case anymore, because it did take about 6 months to actually release in the United States, even though this was originally listed for a November 2022 release, which was laughable. But obviously here it is in April. But his Wave Mate Piranha's head, I definitely think is going to be a lot more interesting to take a look at. Oh, but this is cool. I want this to do well, because I want this deluxe line to do well, because I want more vehicles. I want the opportunities or the possibilities for us to get bigger characters, and for us to possibly and eventually get Red Ranger Battleizers. I want it to do well. So hopefully it does well. Just look at what you're doing, Hasbro, next time. Check your homework on that. But that's all I got. Until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or LightningFigPR. And I'd love to hear down in the comments below, are you skipping this release, or did you skip the 2-pack and you're going to get this? Or are you going to be like me and buy both? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this, and what other stuff, I guess, you would like to see in the Deluxe Wave 1 or Deluxe assortment. So, Piranha's Head, I got charged for, and I got this from GameStop, by the way. I don't know why I didn't mention that before, but I got this from GameStop, and they charged me for Piranha's Head at the same time, but they didn't ship Piranha's Head yet, so I don't really know what's going on with that. That's all I got, and I'll see you all next time. All right, everybody, we're taking bets. How long until TJ destroys this entire thing? How long we think? How long until it wakes me up in the middle of the night and scares the ever-living shit out of me?